Whenever you have a tragedy like that, you want to get the facts, and then you want to see, well, what can we learn from that? Is there something that we could have done to prevent that?
New tonight at 6, Governor Mike DeWine talking about a mass shooting in Akron over the weekend. There were also several shootings reported here in Columbus over the weekend.
Yeah, with the recent gun violence, there's a renewed call for a change, a tightening in state laws. NBC4 State House reporter Natalie Fahmy talked to the governor today. Natalie, I know a number of bills have been introduced in the State House. They never seem to get much traction. What's the governor telling you?
Well, that's right, Colleen, Carrie. I have reported on at least a dozen gun bills from both sides of the aisle at the State House, but not one of them have made it to the governor's desk this General Assembly. So I asked Governor Mike DeWine whether he thinks the legislature is doing enough to stop gun violence. DeWine tells me he wants to see one specific measure passed and sent to his desk to increase penalties for repeat violent offenders. DeWine tells me a judge has to be able to throw the book at these individuals, and the state can have no mercy for them. He has said he believes it will decrease the chance of repeat offenders being back on the streets and unlawfully owning a gun to possibly help decrease violence across the state. There is a bill to do this. It still awaits its first committee hearing. And other bills to do things like make federal gun laws unenforceable in Ohio are still being considered. But DeWine says overall gun violence in Ohio needs to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. So I asked him whether he's opposed to measures that some advocates call common sense. Are you opposed to measures like background checks?
Well, you have to get into the specifics about the background checks. We do have background checks
Universal
now.
Background checks for any gun purchase.
Yeah, we have background checks now. So,
in all cases?
I would have to look at what the particular bill says and see whether or not I felt, it would do a good job, also whether I felt it would be constitutional. So I don't generally talk in generalities.
Again, there are several gun-related bills at the State House from both sides of the aisle, including a Republican-led measure to increase penalties for repeat violent offenders and a Democratic-led measure for universal background checks. Colleen?
All right, thanks so much, Natalie. And of course, Natalie covered a number of topics with the governor, including his reaction to last week's criminal conviction of former President Donald Trump. You can see that full interview at NBC4i.com.